You know, we came in the gym, we warmed up our knees. I always start with little leg extensions just to get a little blood in there. We started on the Icarian leg extension, did 3 or 4 sets there, warming up the legs just to get the knees in tune for some leg presses, which we moved over to next. Banged out, you know, repetitions between 12 and 15 on those. We did a couple warm-up sets and then banged out, I think, eight plates each side. Really deep. We were trying to really slow the reps down and do some deep movement with that. You know, we're really trying to get resistance on the quads. So as you can see in the video, you know, we're doing a lot of slower motions on the way down, really controlling negative. That's what I'm focusing on this year, to bring in the deeper fibers. Not necessarily trying to build a ton more muscle. I'm, of course, trying to gain more fullness, but not necessarily size, as I'm trying to keep that detail in there. And if you gain too much size, you know, you lose that detail. So we all know, you know, I'm known for my legs. So I'm just trying to you know, make my legs even sharper for the stage. So we banged out the leg presses, moved next to the hack machine, which was a free motion type movement where it's a plate loaded machine. With that, you know, we did 4 sets. I think I went up to, you know, 6 or 7 plates on that, and you know, banged out the same thing, slow repetitions, trying to be deep, trying to get that squeeze in the quads, really working the front quads, closer to the knee, the teardrop. And also the upper thigh on the way up to the top. But, you know, just keeping full control of those. I think we focus on 10 repetitions there. I'm trying to keep my repetitions down a little bit, as, you know, I'm trying to gain more fullness right now and not necessarily try to rip the quads. So as the show gets closer, the repetitions increase a little bit by 2 or 3.
Come on. 6, 1 more, 2 and 2. Come on, Jay, put it down. Come on.
So we did that, and then we moved on to leg extensions, which is a little different from you know, what most people do. They usually do leg extensions at the beginning or at the end. And as you see, you know, we started with light leg extensions just to warm the knees. Then we moved into actually full-on heavy sets, doing 12 repetitions, really trying to squeeze. You know, we did 4 sets there, really trying to get the squeeze, holding, having a pause at the top of the motion, and then, of course, controlling it as much as possible.
Come on. Keep going, bro. Concentrate. Come on. Come on. All right, there you go.
And then we moved over to some squats on the Smith machine. You saw that we did, you know, really deep squats. And what I'm doing with these is the same kind of thing with the leg press. I do slow motion on the way down. I try to, you know, drop slow, and then I hit the hole and then bounce back up, explode to the top, really trying to get that squeeze and contraction. 8 or 10 repetitions. That's all I'm trying to do on the squats. And, of course, I use the Smith machine, which, you know, as you guys have seen in my training last year, I seem to focus a little more on doing control. Went up to 365 pounds, which felt real good, you know, for after all the exercise I did. You know, I did 315 last week, so I moved up, you know, a quarter. You know, probably topping out at 4 plates once I get full back up to speed. But what I'm really just trying to focus on is really the contraction. I don't want to really focus on as much weight as possible. I just want to move in a fluid motion and really get that squeeze. And as you see with a few of those sets, I sat in the bottom of the movement for a pause of about 2 seconds and then blasted my way to the top. I mean, I pretty much went to failure. I know Eric had to help me with the last set to get me out of the hole. We moved over next to the inverted leg press. Which that was, you know, probably the top exercise, you know, as far as fatiguing. It's an inverted motion, so I'm laying on my back and doing those, which is a rarity. Most gyms don't have that machine, but it really focuses on the teardrop and building closer to the knee. So that exercise, you know, we topped out at, I think, 6 or 7 plates. And, you know, same thing, 10 repetitions, really just trying to get that squeeze, focus on, you know, really just finishing off the quads. And, you know, that was our last movement pretty much. And my legs were pretty much spent at that point. So we moved over to do some hamstring exercises, which you saw we started with the seated hamstring curl, which is probably one of my favorites because, you know, pretty much it's all hamstrings. And you see when I was leaning forward in the machine, I was really trying to get that squeeze and contraction. It's a little easier when you lean forward rather than lean back. You can really get that squeeze and get over your legs, so you can really get that tightness in your hamstrings and stretch it out. We did the 1 leg extension next, which we focused on isolateraling the legs 1 leg at a time, really getting that squeeze. 10 repetitions. We did 4 sets there. Really just trying to get that squeeze. By that time, you know, my hamstrings were pumped to the roof anyway, just from doing quads first, and of course the seated leg curls first. But With those, you know, I feel they bring a lot of detail in as we get closer to competition, but it just really helps to focus on one leg at a time.
Go down.
Next, moving over to the lying leg curl, which you saw we put a pad under our legs a little bit to give a little more stretch to the hamstrings. Still focused on, I think 11. We did 11 reps or 12 reps on those. Banging out 4 sets, went pretty heavy. Really get that burn. You know, we had a couple spots in there to get that full extension, that hold at the top. And you see I really did a lot of controlling that movement, the negative, just like I did with the quads.
2 more, Bill. Come on. That's it. Come on.
And then pretty much finished up with stiff-legged deadlifts, which we didn't go super heavy. We just went for that squeeze and that stretch. Really focusing just on the hamstrings, not bringing any of the lower back in there. Just bringing the bar down. And as you see, as we went down with the bar, we went outwards. So we got a little more stretch into the glute and hamstring. Great finishing exercise, stretch everything out. And then I finished off with some stretches and you know, pretty much that wraps up my leg day, you know.